What is going on, Failroaders? I'm live. It's giving me a warning that my bitrate is low, so if you're in the comments and you hear anything out of the ordinary, it looks like everything should be good. Just let me know. Hit the heart button if you want to, or the 100 button. What is this? Why is it asking me to log into chat now? Okay. Anyway, we are here to discuss all this new information that has come out about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, specifically the trailer that just dropped at the Game Awards ceremony. The theme song performance. Well, first off, we're just going to watch the theme song performance that actually happened at the Game Awards because it's worth watching again. And I gotta just warn you guys first, spoilers. There's going to be spoilers in this. So, yeah, let's get into this. It's so awesome. I've listened to this so many times. And then we'll go back through this, like scene by scene, and we're going to dissect this. Oh, I love that. I love that line. So good. Because in this version, we get to hear the rest of the song. Turn on the closed captions, please. Oh, it's unavailable. Okay. Oh, it's so good. This is Lauren. I forgot her last name. Tell me you don't like that. Tell me you don't love that. Chat. That's amazing. I couldn't talk during it. The last half of that. And then it's very subtle. It sounds very similar to Aerith's theme. I don't know if it's exactly Aerith's theme, but it's close. That's it. And then the trailer dropped. What's her name? Composed by Nobuo Uematsu. It's Lauren something. I don't know. Anyway, guys, we're going to dissect this for the rest of the video. And we're going to go to the full trailer, and we'll watch it. We'll go scene by scene, and there's just so much to talk about here.
I'm feeling every single bullet.
Every single bullet.
Their ire manifests once more.
A lot of theory crafting that's going to happen in this live stream.
Sephiroth. What am I supposed to do?
Hell yeah.
Their luck runs out, but mine doesn't. I'm the only one who gets a pass. Sometimes I don't even know who I am.
We'll go over all these locations.
Everyone else remembers just fine.
We'll go over as many little details as we can. And chat, if you guys see details in there that I haven't noticed,
Is it you, or is it
by all means, by all
I'm
means,
just
put it in the
messing
chat.
with ya. That there is our man.
When fate sets us a challenge, we must rise to meet it. Are you ready to rumble?
Aerith, is there anything I can do
Dio's
for you?
voice is growing
I
on
wanna
me.
help.
And Sid's is too, and we're going to talk a whole lot about Sid here. There's also the latest blog images.
Look at me, Barrett. You think I want Marlene to see what her father's become?
Promise not to tell?
Dyne looks great.
When she wakes up, a scary man is gonna kill her.
There's a lot for this scene too, because there's a theory that's come out, and I kind of disagree with that theory. I'm gonna dissect this as well because, I mean, oh man, Lauren Alred's the vocalist's name. Barrett looks wicked. I want that in Ever Crisis. Oh man, there's so much, guys. Y'all know I'm a Clareth fan. Y'all know when I played the OG back in '97. I love that shot too. This is such an emotional song when you look at all the context. But yeah, when I played the OG back in 1997, I went on the date with Aerith for the first time, and of course this is back when...
I'm begging you, lend me your strength.
This is back when, you know, you may not have known that all the choices you were making led up to the date scene and who you were going to date. So when I did the original, I just assumed that Aerith was the date. Like, you just went out with Aerith. So yeah, okay, time to go through this with a fine-tooth comb. We're going to play this back. We'll start off at like 50% speed. That way I can just pause in the areas where I need to pause. Hopefully it doesn't sound crazy. Oh, that's horrible. I'm going to mute this. I'm going to mute that so you guys don't have to listen to that horribleness. Alright. The world will be saved, but will you? So, this is so good. Zack is saying, I'm feeling every single bullet, like he's recounting this. And then, boom. Oh man, that right there. We got Midgar in the background. I've not done one of those Midgar comparisons to where you can look at all the different Midgars and tell which one's in the Beagleverse or which one's in the Terrierverse. Digital Decade, what's up, man? Happy to be here. I'm glad to have you here too. So we've got this bullet right here, and there are a couple different theories out there as to what the heck is gonna happen a split second after this scene cuts. The theory is that in both theories, a whisper is going to do something to deflect the bullet in some way. But the two different theories are very, very different for the reason that the whisper does it. My theory is that the whispers are doing this in reaction to the party attacking the Whisper Harbinger. The Whispers realize that, okay, they need to set up the timeline to be able to stick as closely to their destined timeline as possible without the Whisper's influence. And so the Whispers realize, okay, if we don't exist to keep Destiny on its course, we need to do something that will cause Destiny to stray as close to its proper course as possible. And so the Whispers are like, okay, if Sephiroth has this omnipotent knowledge, then we need to give the heroes a boost so that they can beat him again, and thus they let Zack live. That's a little complex, and I know I've had a conversation in the past with some viewers on the channel about paradoxes and time loops and just how time travel works, and how if the Harbinger is omnitemporal, I think that's the proper word for it, existing in all times and all places all at once, then if the Harbinger is killed in one time, it is killed in all times and therefore is unable to do anything, yada yada yada. We're going to assume that that's not the case in this, and that the Whispers are only killed in the party's timeline in the present day, so they are actually able to go back and make some changes in the past. I agree. I've actually had that same theory for Dork time for some time now, based on Cosmo Canyon Observatory work on their channel. Yeah. The other theory, and this is I would say almost equally as good, but I'm not quite sure it fully makes sense, is that it's the Whispers come back and save Zack, but it's under Sephiroth's control. And the whole theory is that somehow Sephiroth understands that part of what made Cloud be who he was Zack's death, and so in stopping Zack's death, he prevents Cloud from becoming a super powerful person who can once again kill him once and for all. So a long time, yeah. Based on that, Sephiroth says, okay, if I actually allow Zack to survive, this dramatically changes several events, and it prevents Cloud from becoming someone who is able to defeat him. And once again, there's so many different directions that all this can go in a very convoluted way. It could make sense that Sephiroth allowing Zack to survive secretly somehow in this really, really big twist is actually good for Sephiroth. And then it also makes sense that if the Harbingers realize that they are about to, or the Whispers realize that they are about to be defeated and possibly absorbed by Sephiroth, then it also makes sense that maybe the Whispers decided, hey, you know what, we've got to get the heroes an edge here, and we're going to let Zack survive. So that's the two theories that I've heard so far. I personally am on the side of the Harbingers decided to do this. The Whispers decided to change fate in a world where they don't exist, and this is how they decide to do it. We're going to keep playing it here. There are manifests once more. This is awesome. Bugenhagen looks so freaking detailed. He's blind, which is really cool. I don't know if that is something that they ever brushed over in the OG. I don't think that it is. But clearly right here, I mean, he's blind. We do see in a later scene that he is floating on what appears to be a blue orb. But man, look at all the wrinkles here. This almost looks like it is a cutscene. I know this is all fresh on the PS5, but it looks so freaking clear. And then we can almost see something moving in the background right here. The Ginatech Digital says, I'm curious if we'll get him as a passive party member. That's going to be interesting. And when we get to the shot with Biggs in it, we'll definitely go over that more. But I want to say that as of right now, I think non-playable characters are going to kind of be treated like Leslie was in the sewers mission, where Leslie goes with you, where technically he could fight, but he doesn't. He lets the party do all the fighting. So I would imagine that Bugenhagen would kind of be in the same boat, and that he would be letting the party do all the fighting. He is an old guy. They're all standing as 3 in a row like you see in FF7 OG. Yeah, that is true. That is true, and we'll get to that scene too. Anyway, yeah, it's so difficult to make out. I tried looking at this a couple times, and I really... it's so close. Do not underestimate these foes. Yeah, this is what you're talking about right here. And it's interesting to see Barrett too. This is definitely in-game render. This is not a cutscene here, so I do wonder if, this is an optional section where you can choose your own party, or if Barrett and Red are going to be teamed up once again and possibly have a third person. It's interesting to see that they chose to have Barrett and Red in this trailer if it is possible to switch your party. But we also saw in one of the previous trailers when they are in the Mithril Mines, Barrett and Red get separated from, well, we can assume that they get separated from the party somehow, and so Barrett and Red have to work together. And in Remake, in those short few chapters that we had Red and Barrett interacting, Red doesn't seem to like Barrett, and I wonder if it's, there's no true explanation for it yet, but I wonder if it's just because Barrett called him our lab rat dog. It's but then again, Red even calls himself a lab rat dog when they're confronting Heidegger. So I've said this before, I am perfectly okay if they limit our party for certain boss battles, and then I'm okay if they have other boss battles where you get to freely choose your party. The reason for this is there are some absolutely fantastic boss battles in Remake that are tailored to a specific character or a specific characters. The two that stick out to me the most are actually the three are all against people. The first battle against Reno, first battle against Rude, and the battle against Rufus. Those, because the developers knew who was going to be facing off against them, they were able to give you special cinematics and really tailor the boss to make you have to think about how you use, in this instance, Cloud. You have to really have an understanding of Cloud's abilities, and if you just forget one little thing, it's going to make the boss battle harder. But they also give you a couple routes to victory, such as with Reno, you can block his attacks, you can counter his attacks, or you can use magic. Now, in order to build up the ATB to use magic, I would say using magic is the toughest way to defeat Reno when you fight him in the church where you first meet Aerith. But you get what I'm saying here, and then there's also some custom like dodge animations that they have. It's a lot easier to tailor a boss for a battle like this if you know, say, okay, this is going to be Barrett and Red 13. And possibly Cloud as well, so the camera doesn't pull out far enough for us to see if there is a third party member. But so far in this area, we've only seen Bugenhagen, Red, and Barrett. So I'm totally on board with tailored boss battles that really allow you to use the character's special abilities, techniques, and moves, and for you to have to figure out how to use those characters to defeat said boss. Whereas I'm also looking forward to boss battles where it's like, hey, look, free for all. If you want to have Red 13, Cloud, and Yuffie in a party, and you want to fight this boss, go for it. I imagine that they're going to do a mixture of both. Let's continue watching here. But confirmed, Cave of the Gi. We got your foe. We got a really good shot of Vincent here, and the blog post is gonna have some interesting things to say about Vincent. And then look here. I don't know that we've seen Vincent with a gun like this yet. I don't think we've seen that yet. This, his most famous weapon, I believe, is Cerberus, which he has in Dirge of Cerberus, which is a 3-barreled gun, a handgun, revolver. This seems like it's going to be his, it's going to be his new standard starting weapon. Maybe there's a story behind it, maybe there's nothing special about it, but man, this is a good shot. And we also see, I think also in this trailer, another shot of most of the party, and we'll see some other info in there. Either that or it's in one of the screenshots that we'll see later on. But then he says Sephiroth. Here, what am I supposed to do? Their luck runs out, but mine doesn't. He's talking to Zack. And then we get this. I'm the only one who gets a pass. This confirms that Barrett, Wedge, Jesse, and Tifa are dead. But, of course, this could be some propaganda. The Digital Decade Quicksilver? Okay, yeah. Quicksilver is... Remind me, Digital, is that the one where you purchase it like way early in the game, way before you get Vincent, and you just have this gun in your inventory, and you're like, who's supposed to get this gun in the OG? Remind me of that. I feel like Quicksilver was the one. I think you could buy it in Calm, as early as Calm, and then you don't get Vincent for like another 15 hours. But yeah, so confirmed dead or confirmed Shinra propaganda that they are not dead, but they are captured. And is there another scene here where we show, okay, no, we don't show Biggs again. But yeah. So a lot of people are wondering if Biggs will be a playable character, if he will join forces with Zack. That's a tough one. I don't know that it's going to happen. I am wondering if Zack is going to be very much like he is in Crisis Core. He's a solo guy. And we know that we're going to get a lot of story beats with Zack. And so far, we've only seen him in Midgar. And so there are theories that maybe the Terrierverse is just a pocket dimension, consisting only of Midgar. But in order for that to be the case, then the exterior surrounding Midgar would also have to be a part of that pocket verse, because remember, this all starts outside of Midgar. And we see Zack carrying Cloud, or supporting Cloud, as they walk into Midgar. So I really do think this is a full-on, complete world of Gaia in the Terrierverse. But I don't know. I feel like there has to be a convergence somehow. Of course, most of us are theorizing that that convergence is going to happen at the very end in the Forgotten Capital for some reason. Warning, there is going to be an ad soon. I'll skip this ad for now. How far into this are we? 3 minutes? I'll skip this ad for now. I don't know how many times I can skip it. So, whether Zack... We haven't even seen footage of Zack fighting yet, which is very curious. We've seen Sephiroth, and we may potentially only get Sephiroth for one chapter. So, whether we even get to play as Zack, whether we have combat with Zack, is very up in the air right now. I would think that we would, because of how important he is. I mean, if we get to play as Sephiroth, surely we're also going to play as Zack as well. It's the gun he's initially equipped with. Okay. Thanks for that. Thanks for that info. Quicksilver is the one that he's initially equipped with. So that gun, potentially Quicksilver. So yeah. Please stop. There we go. And it is confirmed later that in the blog post that Biggs survives the plate fall. So in this verse, somehow the plate still falls. And there is also this question. There's this question of, if Cloud never meets up with Tifa, how do all these events still happen? How is Aerith captured in the same manner? We see, during that news footage of them on the stretchers, all of them are together except for Cloud, including Aerith. Aerith is there as well. So how does she, the thing is that it's Cloud that gets Aerith connected with the other party members of Avalanche. It's Cloud is the reason why Aerith is in Sector 7 and is able to save Marlene and bring her back to her house. So yeah, but nevertheless, Big survives. He's got a new outfit, and it looks like he's he's taking this bandana right here, and he's wearing it around his neck, and we'll see artwork of that later. Nothing new here. This is a shot of Cloud running into Calm. Does Marlene just explain different set of events to Zack? We'll definitely get into that here in a minute. We'll further that. Cloud is dressed in a trooper outfit. He's got his police baton here. He's got the armor on, and we see troops over here. We can assume that this is in Junon before the parade. So it's mentioned earlier that yes, there is going to be this segment where you don't just get into the parade and you're not just marching in the back, you're leading a platoon. And so over here we've got 7th Infantry Troop A, B, C, D, and E, and it looks like they've got HP here. They've got something going on here. And so what exactly, it's really strange. Are they going to be in our party for a little while? There's also a symbol up here. It's a symbol right here. It looks like a vending machine, and it's got a percentage sign on it. So I'm wondering if that means that, hey, there's a vending machine with items that are on sale in it. But also look at Junon. It's like we're in a harbor area, or in a, like, there's so many weapons here. There's this giant machine right here. I have no idea what it might do. It might be like some kind of weapon loader. But it looks cool. And you can see these guys in the background are potentially these 7th Infantry troopers right here. But Cloud says, sometimes I don't even know who I am. Oh, stop, pause there. Midship Market. This, I don't believe this is going to be the ship that they go to Costa del Sol in. Part of the Junon Soldiers minigame? Yeah, definitely. So we've got sailors here, but in the OG, the ship that we're on is mainly like a troop transport ship, and this definitely appears to be a passenger luxury liner. You think it is the same ship? It could be. It could be one of the, they've expanded every single thing about this game, so it could be that they did expand upon the ship that crosses the sea for the first time. In the new book, it's a cruise type ship. Okay. In the new book, was that The Traces of Two Pasts? I did read it, but I did not remember much about the cruise ship, because I remember they were all in the cargo hold. Yes, okay. Yeah, so it was in Traces of Two Pasts that it confirmed it was a luxury ship, or a cruise liner. So, okay, well, then in that case, it could be that we are on a cruise liner. The thing that gets me is that Cloud switches back into his regular garb, so I do wonder if this is one of those situations where we can take the cruise ship back and forth between the two different continents. Okay, it's canon. That's cool. I'm cool with that. But yeah, so it looks like while we're on this ship, there's going to be plenty of things to do. It's hard to tell exactly. Like, this is a giant structure right here, so it's hard to tell if maybe this is like part of Junon Harbor, or if this is also just a part of the ship. If this is a part of the ship, then it's giant. And then we got a little shop over there. Possibly a place where you can buy more stuff. Madam M, right here. It is hard to tell whether this is another part of the ship or whether it's the gold saucer. The fact that we have Moogle with balloons up here makes me think that it's probably the gold saucer. And then these chocobos in the background here. I wonder if... Okay. I was going to see if I could see saddles on any of them, but the fact that there were chocobos there, it makes me think it's the chocobo segment of the gold saucer. Or the chocobo square. That's what I was trying to think of. The Haunted Hotel. Guys, the Haunted Hotel is one of my favorite parts of the gold saucer. It looks so freaking good right here. And the fact that we see these ghosts flying around as you're running up to the hotel. We see these gravestones. I'm sure you guys are with me here in that the gold saucer is probably going to be the freaking highlight of the entire game. Just like it's going to be the hub of fun. The hub of fun. And I think that's part of one of the things that was missing from Final Fantasy 16 was some kind of hub where you could just go and have fun. And I know that's kind of, quote unquote, missing from a lot of Final Fantasies. But in 16, there was just no place like that at all. No place where you could remotely just have less of a sucky life. Everywhere was doom and gloom. Look at the ghosts. Oh, they look so good. Alright, this appears to be another part of Corell Prison. As we can see, giant looming shadows over most of the buildings. And then there's this symbol here. It looks like some kind of automobile, or maybe some kind of cart. Maybe it is a cable car that leads up to the gold saucer. Maybe that's the way that you get from the prison to the saucer, and vice versa. Custies. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, this does appear to be a portion of Corell Prison, which you can see the graffiti, you can see the heaps of trash, and then you can also see the desert wasteland that lives outside of the gold saucer. You'll be able to see that in other shots as well. Here we've got a special move, a team-up attack with Aerith and Cloud, and it looks like we were in a desertous area with some ruins. Whether this is outside of the gold saucer, it's kind of hard to tell. I might have to put this even on slower. I'm going to try 25%. So I can try to pause it. No, never mind. I thought maybe I'm thinking of a different scene. Nevertheless, we've got ruins here. So this could be a Cosmo Canyon area. And this could be outside of the Gold Saucer area. The team-up attack is like Fireworks Blade or something like that. I'll show you guys in the stills that we have later on. This is like Moogle Dunk or something like that, which it's really funny. A lot of these combo attacks really have, like, these characters love to just throw each other into other enemies. We're back in Corell Prison here. This is Solemn Gus, who we believe is pretty much replacing, what is it, Coates, who's from the OG, as the kingpin of the Gold Saucer Prison, Corell Prison. He's got a really good, unique look to him, and just like the guy in the OG, the guy wears a full green suit. and of course he's looking at Cloud. We can assume that he's choosing Cloud to be the representative of the group to go back up into the Gold Saucer and attempt to win their freedom through a chocobo race. But then again, we also have this right here. I do wonder if the Digital Decade hilarious. Which one's hilarious? Gus? I do wonder if instead of a chocobo race, if we're going to have to do something against Dio, because we do have this scene here. When fate sets us a challenge, we must rise to meet it. Maybe this is after the chocobo race, and Dio's like, hey man, I'm sorry I imprisoned you and your friends. This appears, it's hard to tell where this is, and there are other events that are also in this trailer that take place in the Gold Saucer. This could be, we see a giant Moogle back here, and we see audience, or well, spectators in the background, but there's a giant Moogle back here with wings. So this could be one of the, well, like in the entry square. They're shaking hands, and then after this, Cait Sith, wearing his jester hat, and he's got his megaphone too, says, "Are you ready to rumble?" Oh, let me back up here a second. I'm gonna look at the background. Are you ready to rumble? Oops, what'd I do? I went out of... There we go. I clicked too fast. I was hoping that I could see something over here that might give it away as to what square we're in. Because if this is Battle Square, then maybe we are competing against Dio in, like, maybe we're fighting him somehow. This could also be some kind of exercise thing, like the squat off or the pull-ups. But he says, "Are you ready to rumble?" Oh, I didn't stop it in time. He says, so that suggests that maybe this is going to be a fight or a competition of some sort. Okay, there we go. We stopped it. It's hard to say. I mean, there's a spotlight on the two of them, and Cloud doesn't look like he's ready to fight. So it's... Oh, there's a sign. There's a BA up there. I don't know. I'm at a loss for where this could be aside from the main entrance. But man, it's this architecture right here reminds me of the architecture that you see while Tifa, Aerith, and Yuffie are dancing. So this could be something that they do right when they get there. There's so much that could be going on here, but it's obvious from this trailer that they have expanded upon the Gold Saucer so much. Our first look at Sid, if I had to guess, maybe the start of the dance sequence. Oh yeah, it could be a dance-off too. It very well could be a dance-off. And you just said it, lol. Yeah. So Sid, when I first heard Sid for the first time, I'll back it up here and play it at normal speed. I didn't quite care for his voice. As I've had more chances to listen to it, I can kind of hear the gruffness in the background, and so I feel like I'm more okay with it. Like he's trying to be very cordial, it seems, in this take. Hey, helps if I unmute it too.
Aerith, is there anything I can do for you? I want to help.
So it sounds like he could get really gruff if he wanted to. It sounds like he could be that way. Try to back it up a little bit more. Listen to his voice one more time.
Aerith, is there anything I can do for you? I want to help.
And now there's the big controversy over Man, he's being awfully polite. Is there anything I can do for you? I want to help. And he's specifically speaking to Aerith, so it's really interesting. Is she the one who flags him down, who gets him to stop before he, I don't know, takes off or runs away or whatever it was he was going to do? Do you think they'll introduce him early? That's tough. Based on what we learn from the still images from the blog post, it says that he flies around from one abandoned airport to another, basically just ferrying people around. You can assume doing illegal stuff, whatever it does, whatever it means to hurt Shinra. They said that we were going to go to places out of sequence, and that really makes me wonder if we are going to not see Rocket Town in this episode. It's the events that take place at Rocket Town that kind of cause Sid to join our party, and it's also where we lose the tiny, well, not lose the tiny Bronco, but where the tiny Bronco is damaged. And so that's what makes me wonder, what, is this the reason Sid doesn't join us? Have they moved the Rocket Town sequence to a different area, and that's why Sid won't officially join our party until the third game? Is he, and that's interesting too, because this harkens back to, all the way back to Final Fantasy II, in which that was the first Sid to ever exist, officially. And the Sid of Final Fantasy II, for the most part, just ferried the party around from different location to different location. That was what Sid did in Final Fantasy II. And now, Sid Highwind in Final Fantasy VII is ferrying our party around to different locations. I don't know when we will see him first, but I don't think that we will see him. I don't think that we're going to see him early. But in terms of how he meets the party, I do think it will be earlier than when we would have originally gotten to Rocket Town.
Anything I can do for you, I want to help.
We don't see it there, but we'll see it again when we get to the second part of the trailer where the theme song plays. I'm going to cut it back down to 25%. We get a view of Titan here. I like the way Titan looks here. He's the dominant of Earth. So they gave him a very stone earthy look. And yeah, I'm cool with that. Still image of him. He's got this very tribal look to him with that necklace that he's got. Then we've got the Phoenix. Phoenix looks awesome. I like the design here. It fits with Final Fantasy. It looks like it's fighting a zoo there. And then there's Bahamut Arisen, which appears to be pretty much a replacement for Neo Bahamut or Bahamut Zero. Kind of has a Neo Bahamut look because of the red. Totally owning. And then we're in the prison here. And we see Dyne for the first time. We hear him for the first time. And you can just see the anguish in his face. Like there's a bit of anguish, a bit of just rage. You can kind of see the person that he's become versus the person Barrett has become. And you can see that, obviously the world didn't treat either of them well, but the path that he went down is definitely a much darker path, which is kind of hard to, say, seeing that Barrett was basically an eco-terrorist, bombing reactors and assuming that the collateral damage, which we know Shinra caused, was actually caused by him, and he was like, it's a sacrifice, all a part of the bigger picture. You gotta think big, basically you gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet, so to speak. But Dyne here, man, I can't wait. Barrett might just have the best side story arc in this entire game. And I do mean Rebirth. Like the best side story arc in Rebirth. And possibly in the entire trilogy altogether. And you can tell that they have increased the amount of stuff that we're going to see with Dyne. Oh, that scar is wicked. That scar is wicked. His consequences staring him down. Oh, yeah. Here, we gotta unmute this and play it at normal speed so you guys don't hear this horrible, horrible sound. They switch from this and then they go to Marlene, and I love it.
Father's been come?
Promise not to tell? When she wakes up, a scary man is gonna kill her.
When she wakes up, a scary man is gonna kill her. So there is this theory going around that there's 2 dimensions, and Cloud and Aerith are unconscious in one dimension and they're awake in the other dimension. I don't fully follow this theory because if you expand upon this theory, it all falls apart. In other words, hey, Marlene is awake in both dimensions. Elmira is awake in both dimensions. Oh, and then they were like, hey, Biggs is dead in one dimension but alive in the other, and you know, it balloons from there. But the further you balloon it out, the less gravity it has, because the further you balloon it out, it's like, oh, well, if all of the Shinra executives are alive in the Beagleverse, does that mean that they're unconscious in the Terrierverse? So where does it end? You know, and people were like, oh, well, it's only the people who are important to the timeline. Well, that would mean that Rufus would be unconscious in this verse. So we don't have enough information to fully confirm that the 2 dimensions have a connection like this. I really do think that it is just that Cloud is still suffering from his Mako poisoning, and Aerith is unconscious, we can assume, because of those tornadoes that killed the other party members. The reason Cloud is unconscious still is because his Genova cells haven't had anything to lock onto to start to heal his brain. What causes him to be able to heal in the first place is, number 1, absorbing Zack's memories, and then number 2, what completely heals him are Tifa's memories of Cloud. Tifa remembering, like Cloud being able to sort of read her mind and see that he existed. Like, hey, this is Cloud, I am Cloud. So that's that. And so and of course she says, when she wakes up, a scary man is going to kill her. Not when a scary man kills her, she's going to wake up. So, and of course, we're talking about a very, very young girl, I think like 5 or 6 years old. Youngest bartender in Gaia. I think that the universes are connected, and when one person dies in the other, they're going to wake up in the other. I don't see that happening. I see, we get that vision of Cloud being one of the cloaked figures, and I think we're looking at more of a timeline like that, where we have the healthy Cloud in one universe, and in the other universe we have the Cloud who has become essentially a Sephiroth clone. He has joined the black-robed figures, possibly. But of course, that had that sort of grainy look over it, and so this is possibly a vision that one of the Clouds is getting. But yeah, as far as that, theory that their consciousness is linked, and that their conscience can only be in one universe or the other, I don't fully see that. But of course, now that I say that I don't think that that's going to be how it works, knowing by luck that's going to be how it works. And then the music.
I won't say that it was fate.
Okay, we've got Jesse here. Oh man. Music. No Promises to Keep. Nobuo Uematsu. Vocals by Lauren Allred. I'm not gonna mute this on you guys. I'm gonna let y'all hear it. So yeah, this appears to be Jesse, and I'll go ahead and tell you I hadn't had a chance to make a theory video on this, but I didn't think that Jesse was gonna be alive at the Gold Saucer, even though I wanted to see more Jesse because Jesse's voice actress did an amazing job voicing Jesse. She really brought Jesse to life. A lot of people were theorizing that we were going to see Jesse at the Gold Saucer because now time had been altered, you know, whether it was going to be in one of the universes or the other. We were going to go to the Gold Saucer and Jesse was going to be performing there. And I didn't quite buy that one either because so far we've only seen the whispers affect fate as far back as Zack's death scene. Jesse moves back to Midgar to join Avalanche years before that happens. So the whispers didn't go back in time that far and alter that part. So in order to prevent Jesse from leaving the Gold Saucer, they would have to have prevented her father from collapsing in the Mako reactor and being unconscious this entire time. So that is why I was like, I don't see Jesse being there, and if they did do it, they were going to have a really janky explanation for it, I think. But here she is. We see her. But man, when we get to the visuals, and we'll get to them, I promise we'll get to them, it blatantly states it. I said pause. Jeez, I don't know if my mouse is just not working. Alright. We see Kate Sith, Barrett, Cloud, and Red 13 in this like crazy dark skin. Barrett, like, this is really interesting. This reminds me of Golbez from Final Fantasy IV, and Aerith is playing Princess Rosa, who is also from Final Fantasy IV. Now this could just be an Easter egg. This could just be like a nod to Final Fantasy IV, because I know Barrett is obviously TDK, the Dragon King, and Aerith is playing the princess, or in this case Princess Rosa, and it also states that they are reenacting Loveless. So I don't know, maybe Loveless was based on Final Fantasy IV. That would be pretty cool. Or maybe they're altering it to make it sort of based on Final Fantasy IV. Clearly Cloud is playing the hero of the show. Barrett looks so sick. Kate Sith is just wearing he's just being Kate Sith. But we need this. I think I've already said it once. We need that outfit in Ever Crisis. I wonder how many different locations we'll be able to go to with Barrett wearing this. Digital, I didn't realize that was Barrett for a full day. He looked so different that the first time I saw it, I was like, well, that couldn't be Barrett, but he has the Gatling gun of Barrett. Like, what is this? What's going on here? I thought this was like some kind of like hallucination. Because, you know, Cody Christensen, the voice actor for Cloud, mentioned that there's going to be a short amount of time where Cloud has to basically be someone who he is not. And so everyone's theorizing that this is going to be that moment. And he said, Cody said that he had a lot of fun voicing those lines. And he said that we're going to get a kick out of it when we see it. So I can't wait to see this part. Y'all, this is going to be so freaking good. This is going to be... But now, also, let's see if we see her dress. Oh, man. This is appears to be the gondola ride. and they're leaning heavy into Aerith. And then Barrett gets really into his role here as he's shooting on stage. We can assume that this is on stage. And then we've got Red over here as kind of like Barrett's, the Dragon King's evil companion. This is such an amazing armor. I love it. I love the look of it. This actually looks like this. I mean, I know this is a dragon. It almost kind of looks like a chicken too. like there's the beak and there's the chicken's neck. But I'm sorry if that ruins it for y'all. I'm sorry if y'all can't unsee that. Oh. I might have to put it back on 25% speed because I can't pause it fast enough. We're going to back up here. I'm sorry, I'll have to mute the amazing song. Look at the dress Aerith is wearing here. She's got like a garnish of like ivy on it or something. It almost looks like she is singing here. It almost looks like Jessie is saying words. Like her mouth is moving. So I wonder if this is also Jessie singing something, whether it be background vocals or something like that. Yeah, she's got this sort of ivy going on here. And her face is uncovered. But then when we look at the play, these guys are standing off to the side as though they're waiting for their cue, their turn to perform. And then here, look, Aerith has a different outfit on. I can't confirm whether she's just changed the accessories for her outfit, because Cloud is also wearing a mask over his face, whereas he's not when Aerith is singing. But she's got a crown. She's got this sort of tiara thing right here on her forehead. She's got bracers. She's got this belt. Barrett still looks the same. Still badass. Oh, couldn't pause it in time, even at 25% speed. We even see a bullet ricochet like right there, or maybe it's just a spark. There's 3 acts to the play, I think. I can't remember either. I feel like there are... I don't think that they were necessarily acts. Maybe 7 verses to Loveless. Something like that. But yeah, so that could explain, 3 different acts. Oftentimes plays will have like 2 acts, like a first act and then a break in a second act. I'm the OG. But either way, there's a wardrobe change somewhere in there for Aerith. INW, okay. Pause here. Ugh. Oh, in the OG. Okay, spelling error. In the original, I mean, it's a very short play in the original. So it's like the Dragon King shows up, Prince, what was his name? Alfred? I want to say, or Alfred the hero shows up. TDK abducts the princess, and then he has to learn from either the knight or the wizard, and then he has to choose who to kiss. And then it's the end. And of course, you can choose to kiss the Dragon King. You can choose to kiss, I think, the king himself. or you can choose to kiss the princess. So this is weird looking over here. I have no clue what this might be. I saw a comment on another video where it's like, hey, there's a vending machine in the basement of Shinra Manor. Who restocks this machine? And is Vincent the only one using it? So it is an odd place for a vending machine. It's really funny, but it's one of those things where it's like, you know what? I don't care. I accept it. It's a video game. Maybe there's going to be some kind of boss fight, because usually a vending machine is at a bench right over there for us to rest on, right behind Yuffie. Is it a stone bench? Maybe there's going to be a boss fight around here or something. But yeah, we get to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of our party members. That's all the ones we'll have, with the exception of Red. Red's probably over here to the right of Barrett. But yeah, and then there's a lantern right there. I don't know if they could have brought the lantern in. And it is confirmed that Kate Sith and Cloud appear to be the ones who open the chest. But man, encountering Vincent's going to be awesome. It's going to be so great. We're almost there, guys. We're getting close to the end of this. We see him asking the question. We see Bugenhagen again. And Red talking to him. Most likely in the Cave of the Gi as well. We get this awesome view of Cloud, who is scarred and scuffed. This is the Nibelheim fire. You can see that it's those sort of colonial style buildings, houses in the background, and they're all on fire. Look at the detail right here on his pauldrons, his soldier pauldrons. I don't know that I've ever seen that close up of detail on them. And then we get the iconic shot, Sephiroth staring back at us before he turns around to walk through the flames. Another shot of Cloud and Aerith with fireworks in the background. This is such an Aerith heavy time. And then we got her singing. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. It looks so freaking good, y'all. That's a better view. So she's got yellow flowers for sort of a waistband. This is definitely a different dress. Definitely different from the one she wears as Princess Rosa. Then she also has yellow flowers on the floor. So we do know from the blog post also that this is VR, but it's still interesting that the VR is creating these yellow flowers for her. And it's also confirmed through that information that who sings this song can change based on choices that you make. I do wonder if Barrett is also always going to be TDK, but I wonder, I'm sure it could be between Aerith and Tifa. I don't know that I see Yuffie being the one who sings this song, but I could be completely wrong. If Barrett isn't TDK, then what on earth would the others look like as the Dragon King? Is Red 13 always going to be the companion of the Dragon King? And could Barrett end up playing Rosa? In the OG, if you get Barrett as your date, this part is just skipped. So I don't know that, as funny as it would be, once this is on PC, modder's delight, it would be funny for Barrett to actually be the one singing in place of Aerith. Oh yeah, and then we get this segment right here, and you see the same architecture that we see when Cloud and Dio are shaking hands back there, that cylindrical dome with the lights that are going all the way around it. This appears to be a third segment, so I don't believe that this is going to be what happens if you get the date with Yuffie. I don't believe that's what this is, because this is a completely different area. Yeah, you see Battle Square right here? This is the entry area. And so this could be something, I think this song is always sung as Aerith. I think it was confirmed. We'll get to this when we go through the blog post, but the blog post states that the person who sings can change. But this right here is a completely different segment. This is not the date scene. So I believe Yuffie's going to end up dressed up in that kimono. But they look like they're having a blast here. Ah, there's Aerith. You can see Tifa right over here. I'll see if I can pause it where we see Yuffie. Because Yuffie looks like all three of the girls look like they're just having the time of their freaking lives. Yeah, Yuffie in this kimono. This is a completely different segment. Look at that smile on her face. Tifa's having a good time. Aerith's having a good time. They might have just been a part of a celebration. And then we get to see, this is the first look that we got of Vincent just from the song. From the premiere at the Game Awards, and the verses that go with it. Look at this. Okay, so this is the first look that we get of one of the abandoned runways. It's a forested area, but it's also got these rocky cliffs. So Digital, you were asking where I think we're going to meet Sid. Most likely, this is going to be the first location where we ever see Sid. Since we are going to be taking a boat over to the Western continent, it's going to be somewhere on the Western continent, and we're probably not going to see Sid until we need a plane. So, we've confirmed that we're going as far as Cosmo Canyon, and we know that we're going to get a flashback to Nibelheim. But I don't think that we've gotten any confirmation that we are actually going to see Nibelheim in the present day with the party. I think that we will, because I don't see why they would make the flashback and go through all that trouble and all that detail to recreate Nibelheim and Mount Nibel without us going back there for a second time. That would be the biggest use of their assets. So I do wonder if this is going to be sometime after Nibelheim, and which is, Rocket Town comes after Nibelheim. The only other distinguishable thing that we see here is this. I can't really make out what that would be. I don't believe that this is Rocket Town. Digital says, I could be wrong that I thought the singer of the record said it was as... Whoa, what happened? Oh, message deleted. Okay. I await your restate. Game. Your message got... Oh, it's restricted. I have to unrestrict it. Message retracted. Okay. Not restricted, retracted. I don't know why your message is getting retracted. I don't know if you're taking the message back or not. Just let me know if you are. But anyway, it's hard to say where this location is. I imagine it's somewhere on the Western continent, and I imagine it's somewhere around the Cosmo Canyon, Nibelheim, or possibly even near the Rocket Town area. So maybe we do get to Rocket Town, but the events that take place in Rocket Town don't take place until later, because it has been confirmed that, we flag Sid down, and he then, takes us to abandoned runways around the world. So it's not going to be till late in the Western continent, I think. Zoom. Then we see Yuffie in the tiny Bronco. That vehicle is confirmed to be the tiny Bronco, and it's going to be interesting because Yuffie gets motion sick, so she's kind of okay there, but what's going to happen to her later on? Is she going to get tired of flying around in the tiny Bronco, or is Sid just a really good pilot? Confirmation here, we see Dyne sees a picture of his daughter. Dude, this segment is going to be so intense. We assume that this is also the gold saucer. We've got Cloud standing right here, and they're both talking to each other. This appears to be the gold saucer. What they're looking at, I don't know. Maybe this is Wonder Square. This took people by surprise too. Can't really make out what he's saying, but how we get to this point in the game, I don't know, because a lot of stuff has to it seems like a lot of stuff has to happen. But Aerith is in bed, unconscious. Cloud is sitting in a chair back there. You can just see him, his pants leg right here. And Zack is here looking at the unconscious Aerith, like wondering, like, what do I need to do? Like, what's going to happen next? And how does he... Like, yeah, I just can't figure out how much is going to have to happen before Aerith ends up back in Elmira's house. Like, what happens? We know the plate falls. We know he sees Biggs. Does Zack go and raid Shinra Tower? I can't imagine. Does he procure her body some other way? How this happens just completely eludes me. How she ends up unconscious back in Elmira's house. Then we get more shots, more absolutely amazing shots of the song. We're getting close to the end here. And then whispers in the background. Whispers in the background, guys. Oh my goodness. And then the black feathers. Now, there's this... I got a comment saying that you can see something white in her eyes. Someone was suggesting that maybe it was white doves or something. I do wonder if this is just a catch light. It just makes them look very lively. It's used in all sorts of movies to add life to someone's eyes. Having a little catch light like that in your eyes is just a sign of, happiness and being alive. So that could be just what that is. The whispers in the background, a lot of people are like, oh man, is Destiny, what's happening to Destiny here? We just have to remember that Sephiroth absorbed the whispers at the end of Remake and is now in control of them. So if we see whispers flying around in the background, that's no different from seeing the black feathers at this point, it would seem. The whispers represent that the true Sephiroth is near, or at least the Sephiroth from the future, and so too do the black feathers. So seeing the whispers in the background are just another sign that Sephiroth is doing something. What he's doing, we don't know, and we could theorize. Man, I could theorize. This warrants its own video, guys. because I can say what ifs so much, and there are so many what ifs going on here. Of course, it's like, is fate going to change at this point? This is what the entire game is building up to, and guys, I like imagine this, okay? Picture this. Aerith and Cloud are both getting visions of this very moment. Cloud, we know, has had visions of her praying, her materia falling off, and him burying her or giving her sort of a funeral in the lake that is just outside of the building that they're in, or the pond that's in the Forgotten Capital, I should say. What if she understands what her fate is supposed to be? I mean, she's sitting here right now and she's had visions of the future, and I do believe that she is an Aerith who has only had visions of the future, not an Aerith who is from the future. If you think back to the scene in Remake, the scene that you can unlock with her and Cloud, where she's this ethereal presence that appears to be a hallucination by Cloud, or a premonition through dream of Cloud. That version of Aerith that he talks to, the Chapter 14 resolution, that is the Aerith from the future, and that is her saying goodbye to Cloud, which is something that she regrets not having been able to do, and not being able to thank him for the memories and stuff. So that Aerith is the Aerith from the future, and the Aerith that we play the game with is the present Aerith, who has only been giving glimpses of the future, but is also able to disseminate those glimpses, or sort of transmit some of that power to other people. But it's also interesting because Cloud has, I can't remember if he has visions of the future before he meets Aerith, but he still has the headaches. Definitely not before meeting her and encountering the Whispers for the first time. But imagine her, so she knows what her fate is supposed to be. Imagine if she gets to this point and she's sitting there praying. She knows what's about to happen, and she just sits there and waits for it to happen. And then, whether it be Cloud or Zack or even Sephiroth, someone comes in and deflects Sephiroth's attack, and this battle ensues around her, and she is still just sitting there in her prayer stance, like unflinching, like terrified, waiting for that fateful strike to hit her. And she doesn't know if it's going to happen, but she knows at that point that she is supposed to die. And so what if she just sits there and waits for it to happen, even though she sees the battle happening around her? She's like, I still have to wait here. I still have, it would be so intense, like tears running down her face, meanwhile the party is attempting to save her life, and they're like, why isn't she moving? Why isn't she getting out of the way? That's just one of the multitudinous possibilities that could happen there, guys. And then right here, we see the camera start to pan up, and it goes up quicker and quicker and quicker, and then it fades. We know what happens when the camera pans up. We know what happens right after that. And this trailer is teasing us with it. It is saying, hey, look, it's going to get to this point. It's going to get to this point, guys. And then she says, please, I'm begging you. Oh! Lend me your strength. Alright, guys. Okay, we paused it. We've got this new art right here, but then we also have this article. This is the blog post right here. Aerith, that fateful scene, front and center, still teasing us. I'm not going to read over the entire thing, but there's a lot of good information in here, and you guys should check it out. The stills of the gold saucer. Look at that. That's incredible. Welcome to the gold saucer. Wonderment square. Ghost square. It says something down here. Can't quite make it out. There's a fountain over here. So this is definitely different from the backgrounds that we've seen, unless the background that we're seeing is like back in here somewhere underneath this area, because there's clearly, I'm pointing at it like you guys can see it, it's clearly back here where you can walk under this structure right here, kind of like this. There's going to be another entrance. Chocobo Square, Battle Square, Speed Square, Round Square. What does that say? It says Showdown. I can't read what it says up here, but right there it says Showdown. Right here on the ground it says Park Center. Yep, Park Center. So confirmed Park Center. We have buses here that appear to be able to take people around, or maybe they're just there for looks. I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure that everything's good in the chat. Looks like it still is. Alright, let's move on. Referred to as the Gilded Paradise. Let's move over here, because I think you can see the words. Yeah, you can see the words and the image much larger here. Gold Saucer referred to as the Gilded Paradise. The Gold Saucer is a resplendent amusement park on an epic scale. It is divided into 7 areas called squares, each with their own unique attractions. One such is the Sky Wheel, which is the gondola, which takes guests high above the saucer for an unforgettable view of the park and has proven to be a popular date spot. So Sky Wheel Square perhaps is one of them, which I think used to be called the Round Square. We've got Regions of the World, Corell Prison. These structures definitely harken back to that view that we saw earlier of Cloud running through and seeing those buildings with the graffiti on them. And we see the base of the gold saucer right here, another base. It's interesting to see this area right here, because this area seems to have a clear view of the prison, and you wouldn't think that they would have that. I also don't see the cables to the cable car, so it's going to be interesting to see where the cables come in from. And then there is this structure right here. At first I thought it was a rail system, maybe for some kind of track that led down, but I think it's just aesthetics. I would imagine that there would still be an elevator just in the middle here that takes people up and down. Michael Valles, so what does the poster of Loveless mean? Do you know? Which poster are you talking about? You talking about the one in the scene where we see the wanted members of Avalanche, and then there's like a Loveless poster right next to it? Is that the one you're talking about? There's a little bit of a delay from when people see, from when I see your messages to when I can respond to them, so I'll give you a second to respond, but I'll talk about Corell. Go away, Norton. Alright, a sprawling slum that infests the base of the gold saucer. It's almost as if the saucer's glimmering facade acts a beacon for vagabonds and ne'er-do-wells the world over, as they have flocked there in droves. So dangerous is the Dust Bowl, Corell Prison's slightly kinder sobriquet, that those who enter its limits are said to never return. That was a mouthful. So dangerous is the Dust Bowl, Corell Prison's slightly kinder sobriquet. Sobriquet, yeah, I don't know. I'm probably mispronouncing that. That those who enter its limits are said to never return. But we know that we are going to return from it. New characters. We got Vincent. This is an interesting thing it says about Vincent. A self-proclaimed security guard who hibernates in a coffin deep below Shinra Manor. This man of mystery is swathed in a red cape and boasts the genes of a monster, as well as a hidden connection to Sephiroth. Who dares disturb my slumber? It's really cool that they say that he boasts the genes of a monster, as well as a hidden connection to Sephiroth. I wonder if they will go into detail about how, like, what was done to him. Like, Vincent is clearly no ordinary member of the Turks, and he doesn't go out openly and admit that he's a member of the Turks. It says here, self-proclaimed guard. But then again, it might just be preventing spoilers to people who haven't played the OG or know the expanded universe of FF7, so they might just be saying, hey, he's a self-proclaimed security guard of the basement of the Shinra Manor, and he's clearly not doing a good job because we're not going to get into that. We see materia right here, green, blue, pink, and possibly a third pink. A second pink. So anyway, here we see that Sid Highwind, voiced by J. Michael Tatum, this rogue pilot of reputable skill, runs a shuttle service out of various abandoned airstrips. After Cloud and company flag him down, he flies them around the globe in his beloved tiny Bronco. Shinra don't own the skies. They can't stop me even if they tried. Then we've got Dyne. Voice actor Dave B. Mitchell. I love the look of the gun that Dyne has on his left arm. Oh, I can't wait to see. This. You took everything from me, everything and everyone. Ooh. Dyne was once Barrett's closest friend, back when the two used to make their living in the coal mines of Corell. Now he is a wanted man with a gun grafted to his left arm, and his current whereabouts are unknown. Current as of the beginning of the game. Character Dio, voiced by Ian James Corlett. As park director, it's my pleasure to welcome you to our gilded paradise. The charismatic owner of the Gold Saucer, famous for his brawny physique and handlebar mustache, Dio is often found participating in his park's parades, flexing his muscles before throngs of screaming guests. And just like at the Honeybee Inn, Andrea Rodea, we caught his attention, and somehow we're going to catch Dio's attention as well. Hopefully not because, murders and stuff. New character, Dr. Sheeran. It's also confirmed that Dr. Sheeran is the doctor who basically saved Tifa's life after the flashback. So we've already seen Sephiroth cuts her down, and this is the doctor who works on her to basically repair her sternum and save his life. Though his clinic in North Corell may be small, Dr. Sheeran's heart and intellect are anything but. Lately he has been caring for the black-robed figures that have stumbled into town and is attempting to uncover the truth behind their mysterious illness. We got the new character Solemn Gus, who used to be called Coates. Sleazy Kingpin of Corell Prison, Gus is flamboyant as he is smooth-talking. Add to that a healthy dose of showmanship, and it's little wonder that the dregs of the Dust Bowl have flocked to him. I'll help, but only if I get a little something from you first, understand? Jonas Scott. I don't know why they're saying new character here. Biggs is not a new character, and he does not have a new voice actor. Gideon Emery was his voice actor in the first game, did a great job. Why in the hell did Fate pick me? That's a pretty heavy talk right there. There's his red bandana, so he's taken it from atop his head and placed it here. It looks a little tattered, most likely from the fact that he was still in the platefall, somehow survived. He does have 2 arms, by the way. In this shot, it looks like his arm might be missing, but he's got 2 arms. You saw it in the video. And it confirms it here that there is still a platefall. After surviving the fall of the Sector 7 plate, Biggs awoke to find that he is the last remaining member of the ill-fated anti-Shinra rebels, Avalanche. Having recovered from his injuries, he now seeks revenge against the company that murdered his comrades. He seeks revenge. And it also says, having recovered from his injuries. So how long... how far into the future is this from the moment that he wakes up to the moment that he starts interacting with Zack? I wonder. How late in the game could that be? Combat, it's not too much new here. We do get to see new synergy abilities, Firework Blade and Moogle Dunk Shot, which is hilarious. Tifa just yeets Kate Sith at the enemy. Summons, I won't get into too much detail about this, as the video is already an hour and a half long. We've already been going an hour and a half. And by the way, thanks to everybody who has joined me in the chat, and who are lurking in the background. I really appreciate you guys being here. And feel free to comment with whatever you'd like to. And Digital, if you're still here, I don't know, your last messages got retracted, so I don't know if you did that or if something happened, but I can't show them on my end. But anyway, we've got Titan here once again. Look at this sort of tribal necklace that he has, and this tribal garb that he has here. Loincloth, if you will. Titan excels at both powerful melee strikes and area of effect attacks such as Boulder Hurl. Upon leaving the battlefield, Titan unleashes Earth and Fury, calling forth giant pillars of rock from deep within the earth. This imposing magic attack harnesses the power of nature to cleave your enemy's resolve. And it does say he is the earth, he is the earth elemental, so it does make me wonder if we are going to get earth and water elements in this game. Combat summons. Bahamut Arisen, a massive dragon covered in resplendent red scales. Kind of makes you think of Neo Bahamut. It cuts off any possible escape routes with its lightning quick speed and decimates its enemies with both sharp claws and veritable arsenal of weaponry. I can't wait to see this. And this is something I didn't like about Remake, was that the final summon was kind of blocked behind basically a grind, or you just got him when playing on hard mode. It is possible to get him in normal mode. It's just that you have to master every green materia in order to unlock the VR battle to get him. And I don't enjoy that. I don't like him being put behind that kind of grind wall. And so I hope that the summons in this game aren't put behind that much of a wall. It's just not worth it to a lot of players to have to grind that much to get him on the first go around, especially if there's going to be a hard mode afterwards in which you can level up even further. We're not going to worry about reading his abilities too much. It is confirmed here that Phoenix is going to have an ability that allows him to restore KO'd party members. He can also heal to full health with Arise, and then he does do the Flames of Rebirth at the end, where he heals the party members and burns the enemy in an unforgiving flame. So he does do the Flames of Rebirth. And more. System relationships. This is a small photo right here, so I'm going to switch back over. We see some other screenshots. get to the relationships. Here we go. Oh, this is going to be great. The relationship options. It looks very obvious as to what options are going to get you what results, because here we have this want to climb the clock tower together from Aerith, and we clearly see sure, let's. Or if I have, why am I pointing with my finger? Sure, let's. If I have to, and I'm busy. So clearly we've got the positive answer, the neutral answer, and the negative answer. So you're going to have this hidden point system, and you're going to get positive points, negative points, or neutral points. And you've got this wheel of selection. So this is going to be fun. Guys, I'm taking Aerith on the first date. I said it at the beginning of the stream, and I'll say it again. When I played the OG way back in '97, Aerith was the first person, and at that time the only person I thought I could go on the date with, because that's just how it happened in my first playthrough. And I didn't know that the choices I was making was affecting that. So I think that is part of what solidified Aerith for me as my favorite character, was because I just happened to experience the date scene with her first. But she's going to be the first date. And I've got a poll on my community tab for you guys to also take it. And I should have put a link in the description of this video, but I didn't. But please visit the FailroadExpress, go to the community tab, and vote on who you're going to go on a date with on your first playthrough of Rebirth. Let me know. So far, Aerith is winning just by an edge. Tifa is right behind her, and Barrett maybe had like 1 vote, and Yuffie had no votes. So please go vote. I'm really curious to see what the answer is. But yeah, it's going to be Aerith. And then here we have the confirmation that yes, you can take these different characters on a date. Look at Yuffie. She's sitting there saying, "Come on, you and I could work. Just think about it for a minute." It's great. And here we go. Digital Decade, if you're still here, a theatrical production on the classic epic poem Loveless. It depicts a hero's fight against the Dragon King, tyrannical ruler of Guardia, as well as his love of Princess Rosa. And here it states, clearly shows Jessie here, the VR technology, the gold saucer's golden theater brings this play to life like never before. This might just be a VR version of Jessie. Depending on your relationship with your fellow theater goers, the person playing Rosa may even change along with parts of the script. So digital, it is possible that maybe Aerith is the only one who sings, but then after that, I imagine that Tifa could also be someone who sings that as well. But then after that, yeah, it would switch over to be like, hey, this is the Princess Rosa being played by Yuffie or Tifa. But right here it confirms, Rosa can be different people. I wonder if even Barrett. New screenshots. I think everything else here we've been over. But yeah, here we go again. The relationships. Gosh. It's looking good, y'all. This is looking so freaking good. We're reaching the end of this video here, so if you guys have any final comments, final questions, I'm just gonna go through these images one at a time, and yeah, we'll just briefly talk about them. We'll go here and look at them because we can blow them up to full screen. Oh, Cloud's sitting there, still Mako poisoned. He's got a blanket over him. Her words speak volumes. This is a better angle too, where it shows that yeah, they do appear to be in in Elmira's house. We see the Buster Sword right here. Blind Bugenhagen. Bugenhagen. Once again, we talked about this in detail. Being able to affect your troops for the parade somehow, we don't know yet. Seems like it might be a mini game. The Haunted Hotel. The prison. Aerith and Cloud on the date. I can't wait. I'm gonna be grinning. I'm gonna be just have this uncontrollable grin on my face. It'd be awesome if we could take this guy on a date as well. Like if you agree, like this video if you agree that we need to be able to take Red 13 on the frickin' Sky Wheel, on the gondola ride. Cloud, in the flashback, we can see he's got the original pauldrons on, like Zack's. His face all scuffed up, staring at Sephiroth. Man, his eyes really stick out here as well. Sephiroth staring back. Good choice, lol, just playing. Oh, thanks, Aerith. Thank you for joining us in the chat. Oh, never mind, you're behind. No worries, no worries. I'm totally choosing Aerith on the first playthrough. And you know what else? On my second playthrough of Remake, I was trying to get it to literally be either Barret or Tifa, and I accidentally, like, I even, in the sewer section where you have to choose between Tifa and Aerith, I even chose Tifa, and some frickin' how, I still ended up dating Aerith, or I still ended up getting the Aerith cutscene in the Chapter 14 resolution. So, knowing my luck on my second playthrough, I'm going to try to get literally any of the other three, or however many others you can date, and I'm still going to end up accidentally dating Aerith. Here we go. This is a great screenshot right here, and a really high resolution one too. Look at the frickin' grin on Yuffie. She is having the time of her life. This is going to be so much fun, y'all. They are pulling a wall market on the gold saucer. They're expanding it, and they are adding so much more to it. It is going to be the hub of fun. Barret and Dyne. It's going to be such an amazing storyline. And then pre-order to get your fancy stuff. I'm not going to get the Moogles because I already own Remake. They're really selling it hard. Pre-order on the PlayStation Store to receive the Moogle Trio Summoning Materia, along with all this other stuff. I'm probably going to order it straight from Square. Let me know if you guys have already ordered yours and which version you ordered. I'm going to get the deluxe edition. Definitely not the collector's edition. I have income, but I need to save some to actually go on vacations or something and buy my kid Christmas presents. Alright, y'all. This has been fun. Thank you all once again for joining me in the chat. I see we've got 5 people in here right now. We've had 58 viewers, so please like if you've enjoyed hanging out with me. I have enjoyed making this video. Thank you, Digital Decade, Michael Velez, and Aerith for joining me in the chat. And I hope you guys will have a great evening. There's certainly going to be more. I was hoping for a PS5 bundle. Yeah. There is a PS5 bundle that you can purchase. I don't know if there's a physical one, though. Is that what you're talking about, like a physical PS5 bundle? Because... where's it at? Standard edition. Yeah, here's the bundle right here. With, is that both Rebirth? Oh, there is a bundle that you can purchase. I don't think that's it though. Oh, you don't have a PS5 yet. Got it, PS5 with the game. Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. I haven't looked into bundles recently though. And you would think that they would be getting close to having the PS5 Slim or the PS5 less giant, whatever they decide to call this next one. But yeah, I don't know if they'll do a bundle like that. So, but yeah, y'all. Once again, thank you for being here. Go to our community tab on the FailroadExpress. Take the poll of who you want to date, and I will see you guys in the next video. There's still so much more to talk about. This trailer alone has given so much. So thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for the stream, and have a good night. Thank you, Aerith. It is always great talking to Aerith. See you guys next time.